You know what grinds my gears?
You know what grinds my gears?
You know what grinds my gears?
Watery Kool-Aid. Let's talk about it.
Amen. Amen. I have consumed way too much incredibly watered down Kool-Aid in my life, and it scars me to this day.
There's no reason that my water needs to taste like someone squeezed a lemon like half a millimeter over it and just handed me a cup. Okay, if your Kool-Aid isn't practically syrup, I don't want it.
Exactly. It's an unpopular opinion that you pour like 5 pounds of sugar into your water cup, but I mean it's good.
Yeah, we're in North Carolina. We're in what's considered the South.
The most northern South,
Yeah, well, Virginia is technically that, or in a way.
according to the Mason-Dixon line. But I'm talking about it. If I go to
Oh,
Virginia,
yeah.
if I go to Virginia and I ask for a sweet tea and they give me a packet of sugar and an unsweetened tea, then I'm not in the South anymore.
You just throw it out the window, yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I was in Virginia over the weekend, and they did exactly that. I was at a Denny's, and I asked, "Can I please have a sweet tea?" And I was handed one small packet of sugar, and the most unsweet tea I have ever tasted in my life. It tasted like they put a leaf in a pot, boiled it, handed me that, and then put ice in it. There was no sweetness to this tea at all. And that one packet of sugar did not do it for me.
And you know what? That really grinds my gears.
That really grinds
That
my
really
gears as well.
grinds my gears. You know what else grinds my gears? Splenda.
Splenda. I wasn't expecting this one. I haven't had a lot of encounters with Splenda. I've had that Coca-Cola Life. You've ever seen that one, like the one with the green label? It's not too bad. What's your grievance with Splenda?
Well, there's. So, listeners, for a bit of context behind this, me and Brett are scouts and we go to a camp called Camp Tuscarora. We call it Camp T. So there's been more than one time that I have been at Camp T, and so Mr. Phil, during one of these OA campouts, allowed us to just grab one of the diet things out of the fridge because they were going to go bad anyways next fellowship. So I went into the fridge and I grabbed a Diet Coke because I was like, oh, I've had them before, they're not that bad. Took one sip and I had a whole spit take. And I looked at the can and, oh no, it was Splenda. It was Splenda Diet Coke, and that scarred me for life. It was the worst thing I've ever tasted, and it was also 3 months out of date.
Oh, goodness. I've seen, I'll be honest, though, the can looks kind of cool. Little yellow dash
Yeah,
on it. I do
okay.
like the can.
The can does look decent, but it tastes terrible.
Have you ever had to use, like, the Splenda packets? Like, just the raw Splenda packets?
Yeah,
I've had
I
multiple
have.
people come into my work ask for Splenda packets just alone.
Really?
Like we
Really?
don't have that. Sorry.
At a Jersey Mike's, they just come in and ask for a packet of Splenda.
I genuinely think my work needs to like redo and restock the sugars and stuff like that, just because I've been there almost a month now and we've never changed them out.
Oh. Well, good to know.
Workplace undisclosed, redacted, all of those things. No one needs to know. But
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I will be changing the sugar next time I work.
See, at my work, people just like to come in and take like 50 sweet and low packets because the sweet and low is like the most popular here. If you've never seen it, it's like the one with the little music note on the line.
Yellow packets?
No, they're the pink ones. They're like the bright
yeah.
pink ones, and it's a sweet and low, and that's the most popular one I think because I think it's like actual sugar, or is it sweetener? I can't remember.
It's sweetener.
Oh yeah, it's a really strong sweetener if I
Because
remember.
Normally it's like the paper bag brown container that's cane sugar. Or at least I've seen that more commonly down here than I have anywhere else. For some reason we like the pure cane sugar down here, and I mean it's really good.
It is.
I don't have an issue with it, but the grains are too big for me. Like it doesn't mix in well. Like your Kool-Aid powder, it's nice and grainy, nice and powdery, but I don't want powdered sugar. You know what would grind my gears? Someone handed me a powdered sugar packet and said, "Here you go, sweeten your tea."
Oh.
No, never.
I mean, fair enough. Sugar may be sugar, but you got to have specific things for specific beverages or food items. either or.
Yeah.
And it's just like a requirement, you know. You gotta divvy it out between what is appropriate and what is not.
I remember there was a time I was at a friend's house, and we needed powdered sugar for something that we were gonna bake because it was another one of our friends' birthdays the next day, and we wanted to make them something because it was just gonna be the three of us hanging out. So, us trying to just be good friends and good people in general, we wanted to make something for him, make it a somewhat special day, and it called for powdered sugar. I said, "Oh yeah, let's just run to the store." He said, "Nah, I got this." You know the old timey medicine bowls, like it's the stone bowl.
Oh
with
yeah, the one that you have to use the
Like a brick
the
and
pillar
mortar?
to.
Yeah, a brick and mortar. I think that's what it's called. Sounds about right.
Pestle something. Pestle?
Yeah.
Something.
It's a big rock stick with a rock bowl. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. But he just took a cup of actual sugar, put it in that thing, and started ramming it around. And it was not powdered in the slightest. It just looked messy. We used that, and it came out not at all in the right way. But it was funny to watch him do it because he put way too much into the bowl, and it spilt everywhere. And then he expected me to clean it up. He was like, "Oh yeah, you got that." And I'm like, "Oh, I have to clean up your mess?"
Oh.
Just a little bit of shock right there. That's something that would grind my gears.
Exactly. That grinded my gears as well.
You know, one other thing that deeply grinds my gears: traffic circles. Here in the U.S. specifically, they're fine in Europe, but here in the U.S., there's like no one that knows how to use them here.
We live in just about the most urban hillbilly hell that you've ever met or ever been in, which is quite I'd say it's an apt description of Johnston County, or at least certain parts of it. But yeah, traffic circles, they're either way too small or way too large around here. I've seen a few good ones in Virginia, in Pennsylvania, when I was going on a road trip up back to New York. But truly, there's no good ones in North Carolina, or not that I have found, personally.
Yeah, me neither. There's one really huge one. I'm not sure exactly where it is, but it's very much in the rural area, but it's a massive traffic circle. Like, there's no reason for it to be as massive as it is, and it literally leads to like nowhere. You know, where it's not like we're connecting major roads or highways or stuff. No, we're connecting like two backcountry roads with this massive, like absolutely massive
They could just
roundabout.
put a turn in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I mean, and when you get on one of those things, you know, a lot of time you have people that are trying to speed in them, or they're going absolutely way too slow in them, or something like that. I think that if we had a little bit more knowledge as Americans on how traffic circles work, it would be fine. Because like in Europe, they have no problem with it. You know, that's a standard for them, and it actually is able to limit their traffic because everyone knows what to do, and they just get in there, get out on whatever exit they have to take, and they're fine. But here, we just kind of seem to struggle, not only in building them, but actually using them.
Well, on the topic of driving and things like that, something that I don't think we have the mental capacity of as Americans to comprehend is four-way stops. Truly,
Oh, apparently not.
truly, I don't think we know how to use them. Everyone comes to a stop, and it's the order that you pull up to the stop sign that you go. I have been cut off by many a Karen and flipped off by many a Karen who did not understand that they cannot blow through a stop sign.
Exactly.
It is a four-way stop for a reason, ma'am. And when I am going to school off of 3 cups of coffee and 2 hours of sleep, I do not have time to worry about you and your chihuahua. I really don't.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, like, it's a simple rule. Really is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not that
one of
hard.
the most simple, like, traffic things that we have.
Yeah, you don't even have a stop light that's indicating when you can go or not. It's literally like the order that you go.
Mm-hmm.
You just stop and then go.
Yeah, and if there's everyone there and you don't know who got there first, it's whoever goes first. It's whoever's to the right of them all the way around the circle. And if there's more people behind you, you just keep going in that circle. But there's always someone who wants to change that,
Right.
which doesn't work out for anybody.
That
I don't-
actually. Sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah, no.
But that brings me to what really grinds my gears is people's lack of awareness when it comes to other people, especially if you know what I'm talking about. Walmart.
Oh,
Walmart.
that's a big one.
Holy moly, man! You walk into Walmart any day of the week, there's gonna be some guy going like super slow with his shopping cart, not even aware of anyone around him, thinking that he lives his own life alone or something. And Walmart itself doesn't really help that there's only like 2 lanes open at all times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like grocery store hell in Walmart.
Exactly. Yeah,
True.
and there's like so many people that cut me off in such a short amount of time in a Walmart, and I don't even have a cart. I'm just trying to
I'm
walk.
just walking. Yeah.
I am literally just walking, and there's like 50 people like moving right in front of me to where I have to take a second to hold back, like, oh, because they're literally like dashing right in front of my face. I'm like, this isn't necessary.
And then they stop, and then they're like middle of like an aisle, and they stop just in the middle.
Of all places, Walmart also upped their security way too much for what it is. Like, I was stopped by 3 different people at the same door, and I was carrying a gallon of milk. That was it. I had a gallon of milk, and they wanted to see my receipt. All 3 people wanted to check my receipt, and they wanted to make sure it wasn't an old receipt or, you know, a receipt that I brought from home to just scam them out of $2.75 for milk
Oh yeah, I do that all the time.
all the time. Yeah, all the time.
I print my own Walmart receipts. I have like a whole assembly line.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, while
Counterfeit
we're on that,
Walmart receipts.
topic, I like to print out a large amount of American currency in my basement using regular standard construction paper and also distribute it to Walmarts across the state of North Carolina. For the record, that's not actually true. The federal government did not come after me.
All of these items are all satire. Disclaimer for the
My rant against Walmart was not satire. I genuinely don't like people in Walmart.
I mean,
Oh.
that's fair enough.
yeah, no, I don't know either. So on the topic of counterfeit currency, something that genuinely bothers me whenever I'm at work is whenever I have to count my drawer, and there's like the person from morning shift won't count their drawer, and so I have to count theirs and mine, and there's no way to differentiate whose is what, because well, it's my drawer and theirs, so I can't really just say half was mine, half was theirs. I just have to put it all down as mine. And so something that really bothers me is when they accepted like 4 counterfeit $20 bills,
Ooh.
and then it's put onto my tab, because we have a machine that we set them down in, and they'll go through, and it'll flag the ones that are suspected to be counterfeit as counterfeit.
Right.
And so I have to put those to the side and go, I don't know whose it was. It might have been me. It might have been them. I'm sorry. And then I'll get chewed out by my boss the next day.
That's rough.
Yeah, it's, people will make things fall onto me. And that really grinds my gears.
People.